We're about to take it back.
Okay. Yes, guys, how is it going? And we are back with a very, very special episode on the Talking Loud podcast. And I know a few of you guys been waiting for me to bring on the captain, and we've got him here. Some of you may know him as the captain, some of you may know him as the admiral, but he's got some awesome goals going on. A dope IG, dope podcast, cultivation conversation. We've got on Captain Autoflower, man. How's it going, Captain?
Doing really well, man. Doing really well. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a privilege to talk to all you fine folks out there. Looking forward to it.
Of course, man. Of course. So first off, should I call you like Captain Autoflower or should I call you Admiral Photo Period? Which one
you can call me sir. Actually, I didn't work to achieve the rank of captain or ad. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You can call me captain, whatever you want, man.
Yeah,
Admiral,
I like the captain.
The captain works. That's cool with me.
I like that, man. Like, if you guys check him out on Instagram, he's got a lot going on there. He grows some fire autoflowers. I'm gonna put a link down to his stuff all down below, so you guys definitely give him a follow. But like, you've been doing this for quite some time, and every time I scroll through your Instagram, I think of you as the captain, you know, and you got the hat and everything. So tell me a little bit about the name, man. How did that name come about?
Well, it's completely by accident, actually. I started first. My first Instagram name was Tumbleweed Man.
Okay.
So like the old time followers remember me as Tumbleweed Man.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. It just kind of was catchy. You know, I always wanted to pretend that I was a captain. I am in no way, shape, or form qualified to drive a boat or an airplane or anything like that. But
man, every time I see it, I think that you're literally a boat captain, bro.
It's definitely not the case. I wish, but maybe
but
one
you
day.
Pull it off with the hat and everything, man. The persona, you got it locked. I swear.
It's just a pretend persona. I think it all kind of ties into growing and stuff like that, man. So it's fun to kind of come up with a little character, if you were, that I can play.
Yeah, I got you. So is that like part where you got the inspiration from for Admiral Photo Period as well?
Yeah, I mean, the Captain Autoflower came first, and then I was dabbling with the photo periods, and the name just didn't fit. You know what I mean? So it's also a good way to have like a second account just in case. Sometimes, the IG police might get to me. You know, who knows?
Yeah, they definitely are out here a lot these days. So
yeah, they can be.
Even YouTube police, man. So you guys smash the like right now before we get demonetized. Actually, I'm already demonetized before I get age restricted. Shit.
Oh man. So like the demonetized means like what? You can't like run
ads on your videos.
Ads, you can't make no money. That sucks, man.
Yeah, man. They literally say like they can't run any ads in your videos. Like advertisers aren't comfortable with like, I guess, having their ads under your medicinal plant videos and stuff. So
one day that'll change, I hope. But until then, we just got to deal with the Gestapo, I guess. Literally, always coming after us, man. You just got to be careful what you say.
Yeah, 100%. Like sometimes I was actually just telling you this off air, the age restricted one of my videos, and I was just talking to you guys just like this, and I don't know what it is, but hopefully that changes, man. It'll be great.
For sure. I think it will.
But tell us a little bit about the Cultivation Conversation podcast, man. Like that's a dope ass podcast. If you guys don't know about it, you definitely should tune in. But like, tell us a little bit about it, man.
Thank you. So we've been doing it a little bit over a year now. Me and my buddy from IG. His name's the Real Green Monster.
Yeah.
So we sit down maybe
as well.
Cool. Yeah, we get together once, maybe twice a week, and we talk growing. We talk about life. We talk about love. We talk about all things, man. It's mostly about growing weed. If you're interested in growing weed, you should tune in. It's a lot of fun. We try to keep things light like you do on your channel here. We try to have fun. We try to, joke around as much as we can. I know myself, if I'm not laughing, I'm not learning.
It's true. It's true, man. Like
That's
humor is a big part of it, man. And like I see like you are a big part of like, you know, the on your in terms of like your Instagram posts and stuff, you're really like a really humorous guy. You try to get a lot of humor out there and stuff as well. You don't take things too seriously, you know, and that's a big part of it, man. So like, is that just part of your persona? Is that something you actively try to do?
that's not the captain. That's like actually me. That's my true personality shining through in the posts.
Love it, man.
I'm try to be a little creative when I can. Funny writing, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just keeps things light, keeps things interesting, man. And I don't take myself too seriously at all. I'm not a professional. I don't do this to make money or, this is a passion project. I love
Yeah.
doing it. I love talking about people with, I love talking about plants with people, all
Yeah.
people. So
Yeah, I got you on that one too, man. And like honestly, like just hearing you say that, it makes me wonder, like, do you grow any other plants as well? Like how long have you been growing? Like how did you exactly get into growing, man?
So I have a garden outside right now. It's looking good,
Dope.
but
Dope.
it's just like a raised bed. It's nothing too serious. But
Oh, nice, man. Nice, man.
thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to grow my own veggies. Actually, I started growing cannabis before I started growing veggies.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, but
Wow, okay.
my like
Sort
so
of
I
like flipped around in
yeah,
terms to me, you know?
it gave me the confidence to
Yeah.
try
Other
try my
stuff.
hand at a food garden too. But
Nice.
um I kind of have always been interested in plants, and I actually worked at a flower shop when I
Okay.
was in high school and early college.
Cool.
And yeah, used to like help with the arrangements and doing like making it look nice. And then I'd do the deliveries, and I was just always around flowers and
Yeah.
learning about parts of different types of plants. And then I took a couple classes, just electives, like in college. Nothing serious, man. I'm not a PhD. I'm not a, you know, I
Yeah.
just learned a couple things about botany along the
Okay,
way,
yeah.
and
I got you.
a couple house plants, and wasn't until I discovered that autoflowers existed that I got the idea to grow my own medicine. Like, I thought it was this complicated process. I thought like you had to get these, I thought you'd be able to see like a heat signature from a
Yeah.
helicopter above my house. I'm like, I'm I'm deep in prohibition land over here.
Yeah.
So I'm like a little paranoid, and then I heard about autoflowers. I heard, you don't need to
Speedy.
change your light cycle. They're quick, they're
Yeah.
speedy. And it just got light bulb going off, and it came, after you do research, you learn all the things you need, all the things you need to buy. But the way I started, man, was a light hanging from a closet with a
Ah,
couple
nice.
fans.
Yeah.
And like that's the beauty of autos. You
Yeah.
don't need a sealed
It's
light
true.
light you can deal with light leaks basically. You don't need a sealed space or nothing. So
Yeah.
yeah, just threw 5 plants in a closet, man, and it was
Closet grows are the best, dude. That's actually how I started as well. Like
nice.
years ago, like back in the UK, so actual prohibition land as well, bro. It was
Hell
like
yeah.
fully
Respect.
illegal, but I just threw that in the closet and started off. And it wasn't even an autoflower, but you're absolutely right. They're so easy to grow. Like if you just don't have like the time and space to do the light changes and stuff, light leaks don't matter. Like it's really nice, man.
Absolutely. I liked the kind of simplifying the whole process for me. Like as a new grower trying to make my own medicine, that's really the goal for me, is just a personal, supplying my personal stash.
Yeah.
I was a medical patient in my state, and it's cost a lot of
Yeah.
money, man, a lot of money.
Yeah.
I just
True.
simply can't afford that. So I invested into a little setup and some lights and some genetics, and man, here I am a couple years later, and I haven't bought anything at the dispensary since, man. It's
Man, I was just
been
telling you off air, like I'm in between harvests and I'm hitting the dispensary and it's so painful sometimes, man. Like I can't wait. Like I envy you right now, bro.
you'll get there, man. You'll get there. And that's another part of the autoflowers that's great is you can do like the perpetual harvest and
So true.
always, ABC, man. It's like always be chopping,
Yeah, it's
right? You got to
100%
know
true.
your ABCs. So I try to chop an auto like once every 3 weeks, basically.
Yeah, that's nice, man. I was actually gonna save that one for a bit later, but let's get into it one time, man. Like so with
Yeah, sure.
perpetual harvesting, like now that we know that you grow a lot of autos and stuff, how often how often should one plant and pop a bean and chop so that they can perpetually harvest? Like what's the secret formula?
Man, so the formula is all dependent on your space.
Yeah, it's true.
Simple
It's
as
true.
that. Like I would never advise that you overcrowd your space with too many plants.
You guys, you heard that? Like, thank you. Can you say that one more time for the homies, please, bro?
Yeah, don't overcrowd your space with too many plants. You are better off growing one or two big size plants in your space than stick 5 or 6 in there and keep them small. Like you're just, grow as big a plants as you can. Um, it'll serve you well, I promise.
Facts. Facts. Thank you, man. I always tell people that on the channel. And actually, someone told me that, you should have a lot more plants crammed into your tent. So you shouldn't be able to see the floor on the tent. You shouldn't be able to see anything on the floor. I'm like, but that just sounds like really overcrowded to me, like
Yeah, I mean, so it's like it's a little bit of a fine line, like you
yeah,
don't want to be wasting your light. Like
definitely.
I didn't buy this nice light in my tent to like light the floor,
Yeah,
I want
100%.
plants there, but they also need room to breathe. They need
Yeah,
room to grow.
yeah.
And if you overcrowd, you'll run into issues. You might get like powdery mildew. You might get some,
So true.
bud rot stuff. I mean, it'll spike the humidity. There's all
It
types of
does.
issues,
That's a
man.
that's a good
So,
point.
um, yeah, just you're way better off with like one or two real good size plants than 5 not so good size.
Yeah, man, and that's a great point you said about spiking the humidity as well, man. Because like when I packed a few plants into a small 4x2 tent that I had, I noticed like the humidity spiked a lot, like by about 30% easily, man. A lot
For
of
sure.
those leaves transpire and stuff, and like it just increases the humidity a lot. So that's another thing that you have to worry about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great point. Like you're going to see that probably before you see any issues that would come from that, like bud rot or
Yeah,
powdery mildew. But yeah, it's just, man, these things can get big too. That's one thing
yeah,
I
it's
didn't
true.
expect when I started is like how big they get, how quick that happens too.
Yeah, really
Um,
fast.
yep. I mean, they start, you pop them from seed. They don't look like much for the first week or two, but man, 3 weeks after that, they're
But dude,
4
I've
feet
seen like
tall.
you grown some like monster autoflowers, man.
Yeah.
Like some huge girls, man. And I
Uh-huh.
don't like I just don't have that luck. I haven't been able to grow huge autos yet, man. So what's the secret, man? Is it genetics? What is it?
Genetics have a lot to do with it, dude. I'm not going to sit here and try to sugarcoat it and tell
Yeah,
you that all autoflowers are created equal because
sure.
they're not. There's some genetics that are just superior to others. As it's as simple as it gets. I have my favorite breeders, but like I know there's a lot more guys that are doing the work out there that are coming up.
Yeah.
So it's becoming easier and easier to find really good autoflower genetics, but it for a long time there, it was a challenge. And
Yeah.
my first grow, I didn't really have the best, I would say, genetics. I mean, they were reputable, like Dutch Passion. I'm sure you've heard of them.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
They were good, man, and they auto flowered and they grew to like nice big plants, but they just didn't have like the terps and
Okay.
like the flavors that I look for, really.
Okay, yeah, I got you. So there are really a few different things that you would look for when you're looking for, like, I guess your perfect auto. And yield and size may only be one of them. So what would be a few breeders that you found you ran that you've had good results with?
Man, just off the top of my head, I mean, I got to name like, the kings of the castle right now is like Mephisto,
Yeah.
Night Owl, Rockbud,
Yeah.
Gnome Automatics, really good. Firebuds Genetics.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm sure there's some that I'm missing. I do have a couple coming up in my tent right now that are looking really nice that are, most people haven't heard of them. I could name them like Alabrige Genetics,
Okay.
Outcast Genetics.
Yeah, there are definitely a few I want to try, man. I've seen you run a few, and like I haven't even tried like Mephisto just yet, but I want to try them really bad, man. I heard those ones are bangers as well.
Yeah, like so the Mephistos, I don't know what kind of special sauce they have, man, but like once I got into that whole scene and like they're just on another level. And then like the guy that runs Night Owl used to work for them. So
Okay.
he kind of like made his own like solo project, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Night Owl came from.
Interesting.
Yep. And it's a lot of, similar family genetics, but like continued to be worked type of thing. Like it's cool to see the evolution of these things, man. Cause I don't know, a lot of people might remember like lowriders from
Old school.
2010,
Yeah.
2011, and it was
Old
like,
school, man. Throwback. You threw me back in time with that one,
yeah, they
bro.
were not good. They were not good. And the modern autoflowers are like a million times beyond what you might remember. So
Yeah, it's true. I've grown some like really actually one of my frostiest, most recent strains was an auto, coming to think of it. But that said, like do you grow mainly autos? Do you grow only autos? Do you grow photos as well? I know you've got the Admiral photo period, but like tell me what that's like what's going on.
I love the plant, dude. As simple as that. Like I started with the autos because it appealed to me for its simplicity.
Yeah,
But once I got my feet under me and I realized like, hey, I can do this. That's when the photo periods became more and more intriguing and reg seeds, stuff like that. You don't have
yeah,
to like you actually have to sex your own plants and
it's
then
true.
it again, the simplified process of like the
It's true.
feminized autoflower appealed to
Yeah,
me at first.
yeah,
And then as I learned, I realized like, well, there's not that much more to it.
yeah,
So the photo periods are great to play with too. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, autoflowers, as great as they are, and as far as they've come, they are still not photo periods.
yeah. Photo
And
periods are photo periods.
they are. And if you want the, thoroughbred, like top shelf stuff, I would still recommend most times that you get photo periods.
Yeah, yeah. I hear
But
you on that one.
for what it's worth, man, autos, like there are some strains that I've grown that I like more than others, even from the best breeders.
Yeah,
And that in a pack of seeds, you still have that variation, like because you can't clone these things. So every time you grow one, you're popping a new seed and it's a new phenotype.
yeah,
So even from like one strain in one pack from the same breeder, you have this like enormous variation and it's not all going to be the same. Now,
so true.
the best breeders are going to like minimize that variation for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I look for, when I'm judging breeding work, stuff like that. It's like because you want the plants to be the same basically, and that you want them to match the description, right? That the breeder gives you. It's just the reality is it's not always going to happen. So that's all part of the fun.
It's true. That's not always the case. But one thing I did want to ask you, man. Now, having grown autos and photos both, like, have you noticed any difference in the quality of the auto flower versus the photo flower, or pretty much the same?
Dude, like it is all right. So I'll break it down for you basically like this.
Yeah.
if you're judging it based on just how high it gets you, autoflowers are every bit as good. Every bit as good. Like all my weed gets me high. Okay. What separates like the real winners from like, you know,
quality creme de la creme.
yeah, the my favorite stuff tastes and smells
Yeah,
amazing.
that's what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
And in a lot of cases, like you're not going to get that from an autoflower because it's not like a curated phenotype. Do you know what I mean by that?
Break it down for us. Break it down.
Like I was saying, you pop a new seed every time, and it's just
Yeah.
like the variation. In my experience, I would say like 1 out of every 10 autoflowers I've grown has had what I call the ruderalis phenotype, and that's it has like this black peppery and like parsley kind of smell and taste that I don't really care for.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And like you don't get that so much with photo periods, man. They're
Yeah.
just like that, you know, if it says like this strain should be gassy and fruity, it's like that's what it's going to be, you know?
Yeah, a lot of the times. And that's a great way you broke it down, man. And it's a great point you said as well, because you can get one pack of beans from the same breeder, same strain, and they'll 3 different phenos inside of there with completely different variations, man. So you can't always
100%.
expect like everything to be a carbon copy each time you pop it. So you may throw up a lottery sometimes.
That's all part of the fun of autoflowers, man. It's like it's this roller coaster, you know, you have like no control over the flowering time.
None, dude.
You have no control over what phenotype you get. It's like you roll the dice when you pop a bean, and it's but like you said, I've grown autoflowers that are, I mean, better than photo periods that I've grown.
True.
As far as taste and smell and everything, bag appeal, I mean, it's just like it's all there.
Yeah.
The problem is that you know you can't clone, you can't find a keeper, so it's not all gonna be like that.
It's one and done, sort of.
Yep.
Well,
One and done. And like you might find this great medicine that you just like, oh my God, that helped for my headache so much. But I mean, the next bean you pop in that pack might not do that.
Yeah. It's so true, man. It's so true. Like, man, it's like really a lottery sometimes. With that being said, like, how do you get your auto started, man? Because for me, I always have a problem with my autos, either going into flower too fast or just taking a really long time in the seedling stage and not vegging for long enough. Like, I'm not sure what it is. So I'm wondering if I just don't know what it is, man. So like, how do you get your beans started off?
You mean like germination?
Yeah. Do you pop them directly into the soil?
Ideally, I start in the final pot, but I don't pop them directly in the medium. I'm a bit of like I like to check on progress a lot, you know, and I at least want to see like a taproot come out of my bean before I put it in the soil.
Yeah.
So I do the like paper towel method. I'm sure a lot of people might know it called that, but I like to put that paper towel then in a DVD case.
Okay.
I don't know if people have DVD cases anymore.
What DVD means, man. Basically like a CD case. Oh wait, CD case, that doesn't really help either.
I don't know. If you have like it's just like a little case, you know, it folds over. Movies used to come as DVDs back in the day, and I always say though, if you're gonna do that, it has to be a weed related movie. Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
It's bad luck.
Bad juju, yeah. Bad juju.
That bean won't pop.
But so the DVD case helps the moisture kind of stay in the paper towel.
Okay.
Keeps things nice and wet, man. That's how the beans like it.
Yeah.
And then I will put like wrap. Okay, so I'll wrap the DVD case in like a shirt, like a t-shirt. And I have a heat mat. You might have seen these things. They're like a germination heat mat that you can get
And it keeps the surface warm pretty
Yep.
much.
20-30 bucks online.
Yeah.
You have to get the thermometer with the heat mat. Otherwise, it'll get way too hot.
Yeah.
That one thing, I used to hate popping beans, man, because it just, I mean, I would say half the time it just failed for me.
Yeah.
I had
Wow.
really bad luck. And with autos, it's like you spend a lot of money on these beans and
You
they're
do.
kind of like they're rare sometimes. And you
Yeah.
only have maybe 3 of them.
Yeah. It's
If
true.
if half the beans you try to pop don't pop, then that leaves you like out of money and out of beans.
And just feeling sick in
Yeah,
general.
and it's just like it leaves you, feeling really sick to your stomach. So like this heat mat and the thermometer have helped my germination game tremendously, man. It's every time I pop seeds, it's 100%. So
Okay, that's nice. So do you like pop them and after you put it on the heat mat, do you take it out and put it into the soil? How do you put it into the soil? Like to avoid any stress or disrupting the bean too much. Like that's always my biggest fear.
you got to be careful. You got to be delicate. The worst thing you could do is break the little baby tap root on
Yeah,
that thing. Like
because it looks soft, but it's hard and it can break, dude.
it can, yeah. It's
Snap
like
right off.
definitely can. And I usually take that sprouted seed and then I'll go directly into the final pot
Okay.
if I have room.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk transplants and autos and stuff. Like there's a technique for it if
Yeah.
you want to go that route. But I would always advise, if you have the space, to start in the final pot.
It's true, you should.
And there's, like there's also a technique to that. Like you want to make sure the medium's not too wet, not dry. There's a balance to everything, man. There's these fine lines you got to walk the
Yeah,
whole
they're
way.
literally so fine, bro. Like I popped a couple of Fast Buds autos, shout out to Fast Buds. But yesterday they were looking perfect and I just took off like a little top of a water bottle and I made a humidity dome and because it was looking so perfect, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just take that off. And I took it off yesterday, went back today, and it shriveled, it lopped over. Like, like damn, bro.
You know what? Like that happened. I had the same thing happen to me about a week ago. It's called damping off.
Yeah.
Technical term, and it's
Literally
like
is.
it's caused from actually too high a humidity.
Yeah.
And like some viruses and fungus can grow in that kind of environment. So like I said, dude, it's this fine balance. Like you want it to
Literally.
be high humidity, but not too high.
Not too high and not too low either. So like I think
Yep.
last night also like I ran the AC because it's super hot. So down there probably got a little colder and I forgot there's no humidity dome on. So the RH probably dropped. So that little seedling probably just got shocked. Like
For sure, dude. Like
poor thing.
there's so much, yeah, I know. I always play taps for him when that happens. Exactly. But yeah, it happens, man. Like it happens to all of us. There's no one is a perfect grower, and
Yeah.
I am learning as much as everyone else along the way about all these things. And no matter how nailed down you think you have your technique, you're always going to find some issues
So
along the
true,
way.
man.
So
Literally, man.
you always got to keep an open mind and be learning and like stay humble and appreciate the information that other people put out there, because
And
you can
try
learn
new
a lot from it.
things. Yeah, 100%, man. But you mentioned like transplanting autos. So what's the method that you've used when it comes to transplanting autos? Because I know it's not recommended. Everyone says start in your final pot, and I fully agree with that. But there are situations sometimes, like I actually got an autoflower seedling once in a solo cup. In that situation, what are you gonna do? You know?
What are you going to do? It's already in the cup,
Yeah.
but so like I said, if you have the space, the final pot's always advised. But
Mhm.
there is like solo cups can work, okay? For if you're short on space, you want to like start a couple beans, like get that perpetual grow going. Like when you're maybe, let's say, 2 weeks from harvest,
Yeah.
you pop a couple beans, they can stay really small, like in these solo cups, right?
Yeah.
It gives you a head start on your next run. Gives you fewer weeks in between harvests. You have fuller jars, more medicine to go around. It's a great thing. The way I do it is a double stacked solo cup method. So it's like 2 solo cups kind of in one, right?
One the other.
The clear solo cup is on the inside.
Yeah.
With the clear solo cup, you cut the bottom off of the cup.
Yeah.
Okay. And then cut like through the side of the cup going up.
Okay.
So it's like you can just kind of like peel this plastic open, right?
Okay.
But then you fold it back up like a cup and put it inside the red cup, which is still a cup.
Closed. Yeah.
Exactly. Got to drill a couple like drainage holes in the red cup so you don't get like water build up and stuff like that. But this way you can fill your medium into the clear cup, right?
Yeah.
What you're going to be able to do then is actually like pull the clear cup up and check on the root development as it grows.
Yeah.
And then once it's ready for transplant, you can take the whole cup, right? Pick the whole plant up out of the solo cup. It's got the medium is still intact and it still has that clear plastic around the outside.
Yeah.
You pop the whole thing into your new final medium. And then you just peel that plastic off and up. And because you already cut it,
it comes off super
it comes
easy.
right off, dude. And there's no like no disturbance at all. It's just like,
I like that, man. That's a
nice and
secret
smooth
method.
And smooth. So there's if you go check out my I got a YouTube channel I just started up a couple months ago.
Okay.
One of the first videos I posted was the double solo cup transplant method. If you want to see it in action, go check it out.
Yeah, you guys should check that out. I'm going to check it out for sure because, like, I definitely saw the clear plastic cup method. And you talk about that a lot on your IG, and I did that once, but not like for transplanting purposes. I just did it because I wanted to see the root growth, so I know when it's ready to, like, get out of there. I just wanted to see the roots, and a lot of people hated on me, man. A lot of people were like, we can't do that. Like, and I did the same thing as you, dude. I put it in another cup so you like the roots are still dark. Like, I don't get it.
Hey, man, if you're not getting hate, you're not doing it the right way. That's
so true.
That's just how it goes, right?
So true. Now, let's move on to a little segment that I like to call the Know My Bud segment, because everyone that I bring onto the show is my bud. And, you've been my bud for quite some time. I've been DMing you for quite some time, So I just want to ask you a few questions. It's like literally you choose. There's no right or wrong answer. Sure. It's all about you, your preferences, just to help the viewers get an idea of you and you as a grower, you as a smoker, you as everything.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready.
Right. So first off, let's get it going. Paper towel or glass of water method?
Wait, say that one more time. I'm not sure I understood the question.
Paper towel method.
Okay.
Or glass of water method?
Glass of water for
germination.
Oh, you mean to germinate? I'm paper towel. Paper towel all the way. Paper towel.
Okay, yeah,
now,
I figured so.
Pro tip, man. I just learned myself from my co-host on the Cultivation Conversation podcast. If you use a coffee filter instead of a paper towel, it's a little better for the taproot.
Ooh,
less chance of it like growing into the paper towel and sticking.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Because a lot of people that I bring on the show and I ask them that question, they say they veer away from the paper towel method because of the taproot sticking into the paper towel.
Yeah, it can be an issue for sure, but a coffee filter will help with that. And really, you just don't want to leave them in there too long, man. It's really just to get like little, a centimeter of a taproot you can see.
Yeah, that's true. So true. I like that, man. All right. The next question I'm gonna ask is feminized or regs? Which one do you prefer?
I like them both. I like them both a lot, but I will like for speed, for ease, for just simplicity, man. Fem seeds are where it's at,
Yeah.
If you plan on breeding, if you plan on making your own seeds, I would always advise that you get regs. And use those as your base.
Yeah.
It just depends what your goal is, man.
Yeah, it's
Just
true.
want to fill your jars with homegrown medicine, like me. I'm not a breeder. I'm a smoker, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I would say.
I got
Feminized.
you. I got you. Some people say that the regs are like stronger in terms of, I don't know, maybe stability, but just stronger in terms of general growth and stuff than the feminized. But I'm not 100% sold on it. I've
Yeah,
had some good regs. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just not sold on it.
it's one of those things that just the nature of making feminized seeds involves kind of spraying a
Yeah,
chemical
a
on a
stressor
plant, and
almost.
then yeah, it kind of makes a female plant turn into a male and release pollen, and in doing so you're kind of locking in like a hermaphroditic trait into
Yeah,
your gene pool. So it's if you plan on breeding with that, I would say just go with regs. But like as far as growing fem seeds, I mean, you're rarely gonna see issues. Of course, there's always exceptions.
yeah. Very
But
few and far between, though.
I don't see any actual like, if you grow fem seeds, you're gonna have a more tendency to have Hermes. No, it's not like that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's true.
yeah, they're all good. Fem
Yeah.
seeds for me.
Yeah, they are definitely few and far in between, man. Because like I've had a few cases where like they threw up nanas, or they just did some weird stuff, but like it's really not that often. It's not like every time you buy a pack of fems, all of them are gonna do it, or
No,
that's not gonna happen.
it'll happen, man. It'll happen. I've
Yeah,
seen it myself a dozen times. It just, even the best breeders, the best, most reputable genetics, you will still see on the occasional like lower branch down there, like the bottom node. It's around like week 6.
yeah.
Just
you
saying,
you
keep an
know what
eye
I'm
out.
talking about. And like if you don't catch that, sometimes you can like go through your flower later on. You're like, where did this seed come from?
Yeah,
Where did
yeah,
this seed come from? What's going on
exactly. Hey,
here?
maybe maybe not have to buy more seeds, but yeah, you just never know like where that pollen came from or stuff like that. It's
Literally.
just I like to know what I'm growing,
Yeah,
basically.
I
So,
agree with you 100%. So now that you say that, like, next question, hydro or soil? What's your preference?
man, I'm loyal to the soil, 100%, man.
Soil all day.
Soil all day, every day. I'm an organic man myself. I,
That is
soil,
that was my next question. Synthetic
yes,
or organic?
organic in soil, 100%, man.
Soil organic. I've come to realize, dude, that like that's honestly my preferred way as well. I've been dabbling in DWC. It's super hard to like keep those newts tuned in, keep my ppm tuned in. Ppm out of my tap is like 9. pH out of my tap is like 9.
Ooh,
um
wow, that's
yeah,
rough.
it's
Yeah, that's
intense,
high,
man.
man.
So I gotta keep like pH downing, like it's crazy. So I think organic is the best way for me, and I just gotta stick with it, man. If it ain't
100%,
broke, don't
dude.
fix it, right?
Absolutely. Like that. And so that's kind of like when I started up, I was doing a lot of thinking just about like, my lifestyle, my space that I have, and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I don't have time to be up checking a reservoir
Yeah,
four
dude.
times a day for pH and making, I don't have time to be doing like
Yeah.
high frequency fertigation and cocoa and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For me, I had to do soil because you can go like maybe 2-3 days between waterings.
Without
You don't,
touching your plant. You don't even have to look at
yeah,
it, dude.
don't have to do shit for most of
Yeah.
the grow. It's like for
Literally.
for me, organics and soil is the easiest, most simple and efficient way to grow. And like
Yeah.
it leaves me the most time to do the things that I like to do, which I mean, as much as I love being up in the garden with my plants, man, I want to like live my life too,
Yeah. We've all got like things going on as well.
Exactly.
But that's so
Exactly.
true, man. Like I love the ease of organic. You can literally just water when it's dry, and you don't even want it to dry out too much, but you get what I'm saying. It's
Hmm.
a lot easier with the DWC. Like I noticed a nutrient deficiency yesterday, so I added a little bit of newts. Went downstairs this morning. It's like nutrient burning. Like it's just crazy, man. So I
Yep.
honestly, I'm gonna put that little baby into soil, and that's that.
I
That's that.
like it. I like it. I mean, so and with soil, the bigger your pot, right? Like the more medium you have, the
Yeah,
easier you're going to make it for
yeah,
yourself too, because the less you're going to be watering,
yeah,
the more nutrients you're going to have in the
yeah.
soil to
It's
feed
true.
the plant and stuff like that. So, it with organics,
Yeah,
and a lot of times people in a home grow situation like myself, like we use these small pots.
yeah,
Like I would say even a 5 gallon pot is small when
yeah.
you're
It's true.
talking about organics, right?
Yeah,
Use a lot of people use like 20
7 at
gallon.
minimum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
like 7
15,
even minimum. Yeah,
yeah, 7 as a minimum,
yeah,
right? I've seen people use 25,
yeah.
30 gallon
A lot
pots.
of times bigger the better.
Yeah,
Especially,
yeah.
and they don't even like interfere with the soil. They let it run, and they'll chop and just leave it there.
100%.
Plant next
So
to
if
it.
you're looking to do a water only,
Yeah,
water only organic grow, get yourself a big pot. Like
yeah,
you're not going to be able to do water only with anything less than a 10-gallon pot.
yeah,
Otherwise, you're going to have to supplement something,
yeah.
whether it's like a
Inputs.
top dress or yeah, some kind of organic inputs.
Yeah,
Um, I always say, use all the tools in the toolbox, and I
everything.
have.
I love that, man. I love
That's
that.
right. And you got your top dresses, your root drenches, your
Yeah,
foliar feeds, all that stuff. It comes in handy. It has its place. But dude, if you can just get a big pot of really good soil, that's going to take you 90% of the
real
way.
far, real
Yeah.
far. Yeah. And one of my favorite things, like I like to add as well, is a little bit of perlite in there just to help with the drainage, the aeration and stuff. And because one thing I've
Great
noticed, like
point.
not to hate on any of the DWC growers, I love the DWC with the speed of how quickly it grows. Like the plant is growing super fast. The fact that the roots are not like restricted, they're in a free floating, nutrient solution essentially. Like you want to try to not have the soil too compact. That's part of what help makes DWC grow so fast. So don't restrict the roots. So perlite is a great addition, I found.
Absolutely, dude. You got to have some type of aeration is always good to add to your soil. Perlite is going to be the easiest thing to find at any garden center, grow shop. If you want to,
Hardware.
hardware store for real. Now, one of the things about perlite is that if you want to keep like reusing your soil, right, and you don't want to some people get into this style of organic growing called no-till.
No-till, yeah.
And that's where you don't even
Till the soil.
you basically cut your plant at
Yeah.
harvest and you don't disturb the soil at all. You just plant right
next
back
to it.
into where it is.
Yeah.
And there's pros and cons to all this stuff, right? But it's just like I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm not even gonna lie, dude.
Man, I know that happens, man. I know that happens. Don't worry, I'm gonna bring you back on course. So let's
there
get
you
back
go.
to know your buds, man. Because
Bring
we
me
went off
back.
on a little
Bring me back.
tangent. Next question: wet trim or dry trim? What's your preference?
Dry trim, 100%, dude, all the time. I've
I
never
agree
even
on
wet
that.
trimmed. I dry trimming's easier for me.
Yeah.
It's about the dry trim kind of ties into the way I like to dry my buds too,
Makes
which
sense.
is to extend the time that I'm drying for as long as possible.
Thank you. Long, slow, dry, and cure, guys. Thank you. Captain said it.
Long and slow.
Captain said it.
As long of a dry as possible. So by cutting anything off of your plant, leaves, I mean anything, like by bucking the branches or anything, you're shortening the dry.
Yeah.
Just
Facts.
as simple as that. So I leave it all on there, hang it upside down, 10 to 14 days if I can. I mean, the longer the better.
Yeah. I've literally seen you hang up some monsters in your tent. Like you literally cut it at the base, at the stalk, and hang that baby up. And that's that.
Yep. That's
That's
right.
that.
That's right. Just as like a whole plant, man. That's
Whole plant is just
whole
upside
plant.
down, hanging from the tent.
That's right. Easiest way to see. I'm a simple man, dude. I don't like to make it more complicated than I
Yeah.
have to. You know,
I
it's
like that, man. I like that. That's why this segment is what it is. Just trying to find out more about you as a grower, man. And your
cool.
methods seem to work, dude. So can't fault you. You're growing
Hey,
some fire. Like I said, check out his freaking Instagram, man. Growing some serious fire.
thanks.
But
Yeah, come follow along on Instagram. You know, we have a lot of fun and
join the
check out
captain
the
for the journey.
podcast.
All aboard.
Woo, woo.
Oh man. All right. The next question is bong or joint. What's your
Ah,
preference?
bong, man. A bong. I'm a bong man. This is my
Bong the
little
doodles.
12 incher. I got like an 18 incher downstairs.
Nice, man.
Now, if I'll be 100% with you guys, we're telling secrets here tonight.
Let's share the secrets now.
I don't even know how to roll a joint.
Bro, no way,
I
dude.
am ashamed to admit it, but
I never would have expected that, man.
dude, I always had friends that were
Ripping those
really
bows.
good at it.
Yeah.
So I always let my friends roll the joints, and I never learned. And now it's like,
It's too late. Fuck it. I'm gonna just hit the bows. I'm gonna just
I
rip
mean,
these
it's yeah,
bows.
just I got this sitting right here. Why not
Yeah.
just hit that? You know,
And
I
that
don't know,
probably
man.
like makes your flower last so much longer as well, dude. Because like I love joints, but my flower does not last as long as it used to when I was only hitting the bows.
For
Like
sure,
so
for
much
sure.
crazy.
You know, a bong is a little more efficient, maybe.
Yeah.
So, I'm a glass man, dude. I like my bongs, and I'm simple when it comes to that stuff too. I like a beaker bong, just
Yeah.
an old school style beaker
Yeah.
bong.
What about like percolator, ash chamber, ice catcher, any of that
Nope.
stuff?
I don't want none of that. It's harder to clean, man.
It
Harder
is
to
so
clean.
true. Fucking hell, dude. It's so true. Like, have you ever tried to clean a percolator or ash catcher, dude?
Uh-huh. So an ash catcher is actually a good thing. I have an
Yeah.
ash catcher on my 18 incher downstairs.
You just
Um,
gotta like constantly like do this and like get it out, get the
yeah.
dirty stuff out.
Oh, I clean my ash catcher twice a day,
Yeah.
maybe, but it takes 10 seconds to,
Yeah.
rinse it out, get some new water in there,
Once
as
you do it
opposed to
constantly as well, like it'll always stay clean. So you
exactly.
definitely stay ahead of it, man.
Hell yeah. And that'll keep your bong nice and good
Clean
looking
as
too.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I got a bong down there, but I don't have my ash catcher on it, so I think I'm gonna have to catch on. Next question, man.
Mhm.
Edibles or vapes?
I would go. It's tough. It depends on the situation.
Okay.
Let's say
Okay.
I'm going on vacation. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people go away on Caribbean resorts. Maybe you're
Yeah.
going away to Mexico for something special.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to be able to bring anything with you is in a vape, dude.
Yeah. It's true.
I
It's
mean,
true.
you might be able to bring some gummies with you, but e-cigarettes pass right through airport security, and no one's none the wiser about if
Yeah.
it's a cannabis product or
Or
not.
not.
So
Yeah, I've literally been on planes and puffed up a pen and stuff, and my wife was like, "Stop that! You gotta you can't do that on the plane."
that's funny, man. I've done the same exact thing. It's real funny. You got to hold it in real long
Yeah,
too, so
real
it
long.
doesn't make any smoke when
Yeah,
you breathe it
or
out.
like if it's a long flight, you get one of those blankets and you just kind of cover yourself up and blow it out real sly.
Done the same exact thing, man. That's
Oh
funny.
man, well,
So
that's
yeah,
crazy, though.
I would say vape for the most part, and edibles can be very fun. I
Yeah,
like to
for
make
sure.
them. I have like one of those. It's a Levo machine.
Yeah,
You can make
yeah,
your own infused oils.
yeah. The magical oil machine thing.
It's great, man. But like, it's you're either not taking enough or you take way
Too
too
much.
much. And then you're like asleep for
Man's
20
out for the
hours
night.
straight. Yeah, yeah. It's funny
Oh
though.
damn, bro! I think we got a lot in common, man. That segment honestly was lit, man. I'm glad that it went the way it did.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Dude, I bet we do, man. We're probably around the same age, and I bet you we like, even though it sounds like you grew up in the UK, I'll bet
Yeah,
you,
I lived out there. Actually, I lived in the UK for a while, but I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago in the
oh,
Caribbean.
nice,
So that's
man.
probably where the accent's from. But like, yeah, I'm out in the US now.
Hell yeah. I think it's just the generation, dude. Like we're around the same age and
Yeah,
probably, you know,
for
grew up
sure,
around
dude.
with a lot of the same influences.
Yeah,
So
dude. Like I actually think like one of the first messages on Instagram that we sent between each other, I think you sent to me like way, way back, man. Like honestly, it was crazy, you know. So mad love, man.
hell yeah. That's
Oh
right,
yeah.
dude.
100, 100. But we were talking about organics, man, and some of the inputs. You're a big advocate for organic growing. It's all
Absolutely.
over your Instagram, Living Soil Organics. So what are some of your preferred inputs when it comes to organics? Like what do you give the plants in terms of inputs?
Man, so there's so many you can go to the store and get. Like you
Yeah.
can go and buy a dozen different boxes of dry inputs,
Yeah.
bone meal, blood meal, crustacean meal,
Alpha meal.
alfalfa meal, bat guano, rock
Castings.
phosphate, uh, dolomite lime,
Yeah.
gypsum. I mean, just you name it. The list goes
So
on.
many things.
Again, I am a simple man. I don't
Yeah.
want to fuck with a list of a dozen different things when I go to the store. So I looked for what was kind of like an all-in-one, package. Like
Okay.
it's not quite all in one, but it's really gets close. I like this nutrient from a company called Cold War Organics, and the product is called Bud Bread.
Okay. I actually saw that on your Instagram and I was going to ask you about it. So tell me a little bit about that, man. What's your experience been with it?
It's awesome, dude. Like basically it's an all-in-one organic. Um, it's basically a professionally made mix of all the things you would go buy at the grocery store to amend your organic, garden
Yeah.
in one bottle, in one, jar.
Literally.
It comes in a powder. You then like reconstitute it into a little bit of water, and then kind of you basically water it in as a liquid.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just so easy to use, dude. Yeah, that's the stuff.
I've actually
The
just got it up on screen now.
So it's the green jar on the
Okay.
left
The
is
bud
the
bread.
bud. That's the stuff that's like your meat and potatoes. Now the one next to it, like the coming of age, is kind of like the bloom boost, a little
Yeah.
bit extra P and K. I use them both.
Okay.
Um, and I mean two jars as opposed to like 12. Sometimes I see people rocking this line of nutrients, and it's like, man, it gets complicated. You know what I mean?
It can get really difficult.
It gets complicated. Now, if you want to get all four, go ahead. Even 4 jars, simple. But like the two on the left there, they're going to be your meat and potatoes, and that gives you about everything you need to like supplement
So
um,
yeah.
a
So this is the
smaller
bud bread.
container.
And this is the bud bread. And this one is
Yep.
the one that I'm pretty sure I saw on your Instagram. So the bud bread and the coming of age. Those are the two that you use.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
Um,
use Bud Bread all the way through. That's like
okay.
they have a feed chart. I kind of always recommend you follow your nutrients feed charts as closely
100%.
as you can. Um, and really, this stuff is great because it's you don't have to have a big container, right? That's as an organic guy, like I understand. Yeah, a 30-gallon container would get me to harvest without having to do any of this, but
Yeah,
having a 30-gallon container in my like I don't want that. I want
it's true.
5-gallon pots, and I want 4 plants in a tank.
Yeah,
Like, so I don't know. There's a balance, man, like all things.
yeah,
And if you want to rock a small pot in organics, you got to add something.
yeah.
And this stuff's easy, it's cheap. I'm not affiliated with the company, man. I don't make nothing. I just like their nutrients.
Yeah, man, this is dope, man. I'm honestly gonna give this a try because I'm always looking for new dry amendments, organic solutions, man. And this seems pretty. I just had a look at the NPK ratios and stuff, and like using those two, as you said, you probably would get like a good balance of everything, you know? I definitely think I'm gonna give this a try.
I recommend it, dude. It's very, it's versatile. You can mix it with water and do a root drench, or you can just do like a top dress on top of the
Okay.
soil and kind of like, just water in
Yeah.
a powder into your
Yeah.
soil. It's so easy. You could even mix it in, pre-amend your soil, that kind of stuff. Not necessary, but yeah, man, that's what I started with. It got me
Very good, man.
really. That's kind of what gave me like stepping stones into the
Yeah.
world of organics, because there's a
Okay.
lot, man. There's a lot to learn.
Yeah, for sure. But
So
that's like pretty dope, man. I don't know, I'm glad I brought that up and you brought that one up because I'm gonna look into that, man. Right now I've been playing around with the Gaia Green, but I'm always open to suggestions and alternatives, man. So where do you cop this from? Do you cop it from their website? Do you cop it from a garden store?
so like they have Amazon is usually
Okay,
how they
okay,
do like
okay,
yeah,
great.
they distribute through Amazon. So I got I think it was the 10-pound jar, the big one,
Yeah.
but that's gonna last me like years, man. Like the stuff goes a long way too.
Yeah,
So
so you
like
don't need to use a lot. That was my next
nope,
question. Like, is it like very diluted? A lot of these things can be super diluted, full of fillers.
nope, not diluted at all because it comes as a powder. There's
Okay,
no watering down anything. It's a
okay,
powder, and you make your own. Then
amazing.
like solution of like maybe you use like 2 tablespoons every time you would use it. So two
Awesome.
tablespoons out of like a jar that's a pound.
Yeah,
It'll last months
yeah, it'll go a long way for sure.
for sure.
Now, something else that I see that you use quite often is like the fabric pot auto pot combo. So I've seen you had some great results with the auto pots. I haven't actually tried it myself, but for those who don't know, it's pretty much sort of an automated watering system. So can you just tell us a little bit more about it, about your experience with it, and just tell us how it's been for you?
Yeah, man, sure. So auto pots are like you said, it's an automated watering system. It's all bottom fed, and it lets you kind of have like a reservoir filled with. I just use water, but you can put a nutrient solution in the reservoir,
Okay.
and it just automatically feeds water into these trays, through like a line of tube,
Yeah.
and the plant drinks up the water that's in the tray, and only when the tray is dry does like the valve thing you see there release more water.
Okay.
So it's this constant like wet dry cycle, right?
Okay.
Um, Super easy. There's no timers. There's no electricity. It's just a gravity fed system. Um, and the way I got into it, man, was so I like to, as I do, I joke around about all things, and I started doing bottom watering with my plants, in
Butt
fabric
chugging.
pots, butt chugging,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, and I saw like results from it too. Like it's funny to talk about, and like hey, the
Yeah, but it really
girls
does
are
boost
into
that root growth.
yeah, like they're into all the butt stuff, but like it's they really are. Like I
They
saw
like
the
the butt
benefits
play.
immediately, and then like was like, man, well, if I could just get like an automated system to do this for me, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
super easy,
true.
man. Because again, I I like spending time up in my garden,
Yeah,
but I don't particularly enjoy having like the physical aspect of having to like. I mean, I grow in an attic, man, so I got to bring like every time I do watering, I got to fill up buckets of water, lug them up a flight of steps. It takes way too long, dude.
yeah, it can take a while. So do you actually have what sort of setup do you have? Is it like a 4 pot setup, 8 pot setup, a single pot? Like how does it work?
I have this. It's like the 6-pot system. So
Okay.
if you went on the website can be a little confusing.
I hope I'm on the right website. Is this the right
Yep,
website?
that's the right one. That's
Okay.
Autopot, and it's like the XL
Okay, I'm gonna try
system,
to find it.
single pot. And if you went to like Index, I think
Six
six
pot
pot
XL system.
XL system. Yep, that's the
Okay,
one.
perfect. Nice. This one looks legit.
That's the one. Now you can use plastic pots like what you see there,
Okay.
or you can use fabric pots with it. Um, Not all pots will fit in that base, so you got to be careful there.
Okay.
But
Okay.
for the most part, if you get one that fits, you can
Yeah.
use whatever.
Okay.
And
I
yeah,
got
dude,
you.
that it just saves me so much time. So
Okay.
much time. I mean, you could set this up and go away for a full week and
Yeah.
come back. Your plants would be perfect.
Yeah, because I got to go away, and I was actually looking into getting a little autopod system set up or something, because like I got to figure out something, right?
Or you got to find a neighbor you trust to come over and water your plants. Like
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
one of the things that you learn when you get
Yeah,
into this hobby is that like as fun as it is, man. You're like kind of
they're
shackled
kids.
to that
Yeah,
garden. Yeah,
they're
like
kids.
yep, you got to be there or they're gonna die.
Literally,
so
dude. Literally. Oh man. So how often do you like change the water in the reservoir? Like, how does that work?
So I just use my reservoir as like it's just filled with water. The way
Okay.
I do it is all like through top feedings
Yeah.
and top dressings. I don't
Okay.
want to put any organic stuff in that reservoir
So it's
because
always nice and clean.
exactly.
Okay.
I'm just afraid it's gonna like
Fantastic.
clog the lines and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Makes sense.
You could do that. I just don't want to do it that way. It makes cleaning after the run easier, just
Yeah, for
easier.
sure. And do you use like tap water?
Yep.
Okay.
Tap water right out of the bathroom tap, dude. I don't
Yeah.
even pH it in soil. It just takes care of itself. Like
Yeah.
the
Especially
easiest way to go.
organics.
Yep. I have way too much organic matter in my soil to be worried about a little bit of pH
Yeah.
problems. But now I will say, if I knew that my pH coming out of the tap was 9 like yours,
Yeah.
I would definitely use a pH down on my
Okay.
water before I put it in my reservoir. Like I think
Yeah.
that's a little too wacky,
Yeah. Because it may just throw things off because it's a little bit higher than we like.
for sure. Like
Yeah.
if you're anywhere around 7, you're good,
Yeah.
you're
That's
good.
ideal. That's
Yep.
ideal.
Yep. So I do it a little bit differently with the auto pots, man. I use it kind of as this automated sip system
Yeah.
where it's just providing
I like that.
fresh water all the time through the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
It's on me then to go and kind of every week, maybe twice a week, I'll top dress,
Sense.
water a little bit in from the top, just enough to get that stuff moist,
Yeah.
with a nice mulch layer up there too. It keeps things breaking down and always feeding the plants. So
Nice. Nice. That's legit, man. So I was literally looking into that, and because you grow organic, and that's like my preferred style of growing, it's really helpful to get like an insight on how you can utilize the autopot as an organic grower. So I'm sure that that's helped a lot of people who are tuned in right now as well, you know. But
for
what I
sure.
what I also did want to ask you, man, I noticed that you have insect frass as well. That's something that you use quite often. So can you just tell us like what's the benefits of that, and why do you use it so often?
Oh, I love the insect frass, man. It's such a cool, like, it's a hidden kind of input
Yeah,
that not a lot
literally.
of people know about. Now, one of the cool things about insect frass, well, what it is basically is insect poop.
Yeah,
You
literally.
can get it from any number of types of bugs. I think the one I use comes from they call them super worms,
Okay.
type of little, like, it's like a little inchworm type thing.
Yeah.
And they harvest the poop, which is full of fungal dominant microorganisms. It is a balanced
It really is.
fertilizer. 222 is your NPK. But the coolest thing about it, right, is that it has chitin. This
Okay.
thing called chitin,
Yeah.
CHITIN,
Okay.
and that is basically what insect exoskeletons are made from.
Yes.
Okay. In
Nice.
some way, a plant is able to detect when there's chitin in the soil, in the environment that it's in. And it kind of tricks the plant into thinking that it's surrounded by bugs and that it is being eaten by bugs and that
Wow.
it needs to grow literally for its life in
Yeah.
order to survive. So it sounds a little cruel, maybe like a little, like, you know, your plants are always like, oh my God, there's bugs all over me. Get them off, get
What's
them off.
happening?
But like, it makes them grow way faster, man. It
Yeah.
does. It's a little bit of
Interesting,
like
dude.
one of those like little bit of tricks of the trade. Like
Yeah.
everyone's looking for a leg up.
Yeah.
Try
I
a
like
little
that one.
insect frass. It
Yeah, I
helps.
don't often see a lot of people like, using it and actively posting it on their IG and stuff, but I definitely know that there are a lot of benefits to it. Like a lot of times I'd liken it to like an insect graveyard almost, like you said, there's a lot of dead bugs going on there.
It's all those
Um,
dead bug parts, man. Like
yeah.
the plants, they know, and they're
Yeah.
just like, oh man,
What the fuck?
there's a lot of bugs around here.
Yeah.
Jeez, and we got to grow strong and healthy so we don't get eaten by them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's crazy, man, but
It's
it's
cool.
definitely something worth trying if you haven't already.
Yep.
I would think so. But that, like, do you do any training when it comes to your autos and stuff? Because you grow some big ass plants, man, great yields. So, do you
I
do any
don't.
training? Because I
I
figured
don't,
so, man.
dude.
Like, and
I
honestly,
don't.
I found like I've not been doing any training, and my yields have been better. My plant structure looks better, and looking at your plants, a lot of them grow like perfectly, like you don't do any training, but they all just stack on so much size.
So that's like one of the things I like to do when I grow is to like watch the plant and how it
Yeah.
naturally kind of grows, and the morphology and the different phenotypes, and like by training you're not really going to see that. Like it's all part of like judging the breeding work and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You always hear people tell you, you got to do LST with your autos. You got to do LST. Listen, you don't have to do LST
Literally.
with your autos. And to be quite honest, the way I look at it, I like to say LST stands for likely stunting them.
Yeah.
Because
I
you're
like that.
probably not going to do it the right way. Like there's a lot of things to consider. And if you're a new grower, you shouldn't even be thinking about those things.
Yeah.
Just honestly get like the rhythm of watering down and like
Yeah.
all the things you need to think about outside of tying your plant down. Just
So true.
to me seems like a waste of your time and the plant's energy. I mean, and if you don't have that tall of a space, then I get it. Like train your plants all you want.
Yeah.
But if you have a normal tent and you have a 6 foot high space in there, like just let those fuckers grow, man.
Yeah,
let them grow into big old Christmas trees.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna find that you will get a healthier plant. You'll get denser bottom buds for that very reason, and that like it just all evens out in the end, man. Easier, quicker, bigger plants.
Bigger plants. Yeah, I like that, man. And I found that the less training I do, the better it tends to work out, man. So speaking of that, like, what's the biggest yield you've had from an auto for so far?
Ooh, so biggest auto I've grown was Purple Pope. It was like a cross between the Night Owl and the Gnome automatics.
Yeah.
And now she topped the scales dry weight at like 225 grams.
Yeah.
And that's
wow.
Man, I think it was like almost 7 ounces. I could be wrong. I don't know, but that's it's not like now listen, I could tell you there's some people out there you might see doing DWC, doing hydro that can pull like a pound from one autoflower. That's great. I'm looking for quality, not quantity. Like I don't want a pound of mids, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm not going to smoke it.
Yeah, it's painful actually. Like
it
is painful.
Like I just want to grow the best possible stuff I can, and if the auto flowers that produce that type of quality only put out 4 or 5 ounces per plant, that's fine. I'll stick to that. And so like that's my average. I would say like I like consistency. I use 5-gallon pots.
Yeah.
Organics every time.
Yeah.
Same type of soil.
Method to the madness. It works.
Exactly. So you can kind of learn your own method and what's working and what's not. Like,
Yeah.
it's another thing, just word for the wise. Like, don't be flip-flopping between grow styles all the time. Like,
Don't do
stick
that.
with one thing and kind of add a little bit here and there each run.
Literally,
Learn
man.
what's working,
That's a great piece of advice, because I've been switching. When I got up here, I switched to synthetics just because I wanted to give it a try. Not really just wanted to give it a try. I guess it was just looking for something quick. And I ended up burning my plants, man. So method to your madness. If something works with you, stick with it. Don't go switching shit up. Sometimes it may not work out.
Amen. It just you probably wanted to do, like, you picked the way you wanted to grow initially for a reason, whether that was organic or synthetic. Like, that was your gut impulse. Just kind of stick with that. I know there's a lot of cool stuff coming out and you want to try it all.
Cool bottles, cool labels, all that stuff.
Exactly. But I think you're going to find you're going to serve yourself better if you just focus on the style you picked and learn the intricacies.
Yeah.
That's
so true.
Way better off.
Yeah.
For sure, dude. For
I
sure.
agree
Now,
with you,
but
man.
like I was saying, the 5-gallon pots, right?
Yeah.
My average harvest from a 5-gallon pot is about 5 ounces
Okay.
per autoflower.
Yeah.
Which is
not bad at all. Yeah, that's good as far as I'm concerned, man. Like, sometimes my autos honestly don't yield that much. But speaking of that, what's your smallest yielding auto?
I mean, there's times I've had some that have yielded 2.5 ounces.
Yeah.
I don't think I've gotten too much below that. Like,
that's good, man. My lowest was like 7 grams, so that's pretty good.
Was that one from a solo cup, like a little solo?
Not like a plant. That was one that I got in a seedling, as a seedling in a solo cup. Transplanted it, tried to low stress train it, feed it too much. Like, basically, I did too much.
You did all the things that you shouldn't do, man.
Exactly.
But it's all a learning process, brother.
100%. And I learned more from that grow than I did from a lot of other grows that followed, just because I fucked so much shit up. Literally.
Amen. I mean, really, if you're not in there getting your hands dirty, learning what does work and what doesn't work, then, I mean, you're not putting the work in, dude.
Facts. And it's all a learning process, man. Now, Captain, I think we've touched on a lot of different things today, from germination, seedlings, training, like everything almost. The autopots, a few great tips for organic growing with the autopots, so thank you for that.
Yeah,
but like, for all those who are watching, if they want to find you, tune into your Cultivation Conversation podcast and all that stuff, like, where can they find you, man?
So I'm easily found on IG. My handle's Captain Autoflower.
Yeah.
Easy to remember. You can find me. I also go by Admiral Photo Period. Can look him up too. The Cultivation Conversation podcast. Search for us on anywhere you can find podcasts.
Yeah.
Search for us on Instagram. We're there too. We just started a Discord channel, man. Like, we're going to be making moves, getting into like the video streaming stuff too. Yeah, we're just all it's all community driven, man. We love the plant. We want to help people. And we're just real growers like you. We're not professionals. We're not in the corporate cannabis scene.
Literally, just growers helping growers.
Growers helping growers, man, and home growers too. Like, because there's a lot of growers out there posting. You'll see that are corporate growers. You're not going to have that much in common with them, man. If you're just trying to make your own medicine at home, all the things they use, all the techniques they use, it's expensive.
Large scale, trying to cut costs. So it's a lot of different variables in there as well. What we try to capture, I guess, is more of that craft culture,
That's
the love
right, man.
behind it.
Small scale, a lot of love. That's exactly right, dude. So, and that's where the best weed comes from. Don't ever let anyone tell you that's not true, because
don't get it twisted.
You can grow way better weed in your tent at home or your closet.
Yeah.
If that's all you have, then you might find at the dispensary, right?
So true. Like I got some trash from the dispensary recently, man. You guys know about that. But let's not get into that, man. But honestly, Captain, thank you so much, man. I think we had a dope chat, man. I didn't
Yeah,
even get
man.
to ask you all the questions I wanted about Otto, so maybe I can have
Anytime,
you
dude.
back on another time, man. But thank you so much, man. Thank you.
My
Appreciate it.
pleasure. Anytime. I'm open book, dude. I love to share what I know. So hit me up on Instagram,
For
wherever
sure,
you can
man.
find me. Just say hi.
Yeah.
Tell me you saw me here, and
Will do, man. I'm gonna
I'm,
put links
I'm
to
a
all his
friendly
stuff down
guy.
below as well, guys. Go and check him out. Go and check out his cultivation conversation podcast, his Instagram, and his YouTube channel that he's recently started. Man, he's got a lot going on, man. Like you said, he's gonna be doing a lot coming up. So
Thanks.
don't sleep on it.
Don't sleep on it, guys. And I always say, don't get caught either.
Don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
Nice one, man. Well, I'm gonna see you, Captain. Have a good one.
You too, man. Thank you very much. It's been fun, and thank you guys out there. Talk to you soon. All
100.
right.